Yoink, Old Fellas Travels. Well, just a quickie for this Wednesday. A lot of people have said, and I hear people say about DPF, the killer of exhaust systems, the killer of tones, you know, the killer of being able to reduce EGTs and etc. Well, I tend to disagree with that, and the reason I say that is because I've got a talk at Exhaust On, as I think I mentioned one time. But I was guaranteed by the fella at talker that I spoke to that he guaranteed me that they've designed an exhaust system, a DPF back that is. So DPF back, exhaust system still has the DPF back exhaust system that'll give you a tone. Maybe not all to the degree that you might get from a straight through, but it definitely gives you a tone, and a quite nice sounding tone. In fact, I think it gives you a really good sounding tone. And having said that, without a doubt I've noticed a slight drop in EGTs. It does vary at times, and I do notice that the tone's a little bit better after a burn or when a burn's been done at the end of a burn, but it definitely gives you tone, definitely gives you lower EGTs. And with this new snorkel on in that pipe, I did notice a very minor difference in performance. So don't let anybody be telling you, if you want an exhaust, in my experience, if you want an exhaust, it's still going to give you some tone and a little bit of the benefit that you'd normally get with a non-DPF exhaust system. The torque at 3.5 inch, I think it is, gives you a beautiful tone, and it does give you some benefit. So the exhaust has been specifically designed to give a DPF system tone on these V8 cruisers like I have, and the difference is that I think it's a 3.5 inch stainless steel exhaust, but the gauge is a little bit heavier as well. And the fella did explain to me when I spoke to him about this, and he guaranteed that I'd get a nice tone out of it. And he said if I didn't get a nice tone out of it from the standard exhaust with DPF, he said I could take it back and give it back to him. But it makes a massive difference. It gives a really nice tone to the vehicle, and I like it a lot. But he did say that they go for 3.5 inch, and they also run a heavier gauge. And I believe the reason they run a slightly heavier gauge is it gives a bit more resonation for the exhaust tone. And I'm pretty sure that's what he told me. Don't hold me that, I might be wrong, but I'm sure that's what he said. 3.5 inch with a heavy gauge stainless steel system, and that gives them the ability. He told me they spent a little bit of time working on it to be able to get an exhaust that would give you a nice tone, because that's what everybody's used to. So I'll try and demonstrate that in a bit of a drive. It's quite hard to capture the tone out the back because there's a lot of noise going on with wind and everything else, but we'll see how we go. So there's the out pipe that comes out the rear. You can see it's quite a big pipe, and it fits in quite nicely. They've done a really good job of fitting it into the vehicle. The only trimming or the only difference I had to make, so if I can get it in there, you can see the only difference, or the only thing I had to do, was trim away the rear mud flap a little bit, and you can see in there that the mud flap's trimmed down a little bit to get away from that exhaust. Now it is a stainless steel exhaust, guys. That's not rust. That's Nullagine dust and mud from Nullagine. I was up there prospecting. That red dirt, once it sticks to something, especially when it's hot, there's no coming off. So it's not rust, it is stainless steel system, and if I was to give that a scrub, that'd come straight off. But you can see it runs through pretty much like a standard exhaust. There's a little bit of a resonator, I believe that would be there in the system, and it comes straight off the back of the DPF. So you can see the DPF there. The exhaust runs through. Now it's fairly neatly done. You've got your input there for your, I thought that was loose in. They've maintained the input there, which is part of the DPF system. And you see it's quite neatly run through. You can see it gets quite hot there, because when their DPF does a burn, I've seen it as high as 670 degrees centigrade. Amazing, huh? So you can see there that it runs back. It's pretty tidy. Plenty of clearance through the rear end because it is a big pipe, but yeah, quite a nice, neat fit, and it was no trouble to put in. Actually, it's pretty easy to fit. Ow! That's a mirror. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the system, and I've had it on probably 18 months now, and it's been real good. And yeah, gives the tone that you'd want to hear, and hopefully I can demonstrate that in a bit of recording, but it's hard because there's a lot of noise going on around the camera when you're trying to record, but we should be able to give you a bit of a sound for what the tone sounds like. So guys, if you've got a 70 series cruiser with a DPF, don't be letting anybody tell you that you can't improve things and get a tone because of the DPF. It can be done. That's the torque at exhaust. The guys guaranteed me that I'd get a tone out of it, and I did. Quite a nice tone. You can hear the rumble when you're driving along. It's a tone that isn't distractive. It's a tone that's not annoying, and it's not a humdrum. You know, it's a really nice tone.